Let's take a look at cursors and annotations in RandomView, a software module of VibrationVIEW. First thing we're going to take a look at is where do I find my cursors and annotations. There's two places to find those. Right here under the cursor menu, click that menu, and now we have some options. I can change my different cursor modes, add annotations, and even our shortcuts are listed for any of these menu options. I can also go to the plot and right click my graph and find cursor and annotation options there as well. For an RMS graph, I may be interested in the maximum value of the test. So I'm going to right click the plot and choose my maximum cursor. And to get that maximum value, I'm going to have to move my mouse to somewhere while my test is ramping up. So I move it right to the end there and hit my home button on my keyboard. So now if we zoom in, I can see that I have my two cursors here and one is staying at the beginning of my test. Auto scale out. Now move my mouse to the end of the plot and hit my insert button. Hitting my insert button will give me all four channels maximum RMS value of the test. So if I go down to this drive signal, I may be interested in slope. So I'm going to right click my value and find out how fast my drive is sloping off and on my roll off outside of my PSD parameters. So I may want to zoom in, which is a right click and drag, and see the slope of my drive signal as it's rolling off. I'm going to go ahead and hit my home button. So I want to know the slope between this point and this point here. So I can just move my cursor to those points, hit the insert button, and see that my drive signal was rolling off at a 493 dB per decade slope. Down here in my acceleration graph, I may be interested in a maxi-max cursor. So I'll go to cursor here and I'll have a maxi-max choice. As you may have noticed, if I right click this plot here and go to cursor, my maxi-max cursor is grayed out. These certain cursors are grayed out in instances where you don't have software to display like a resonance cursor, or if the cursor for maxi-max just does not make sense on the plot you're trying to use it. So for my waveform plot, my maxi-max cursor does make sense. So I'm going to choose maxi-max. I'm going to zoom out a little bit with my mouse wheel to make sure that my home cursor is at the beginning, and it is. So now I'm going to double click the auto scale out, and I want to make sure that I get my cursor all the way at the end here. So I've zoomed out here, and now I'm ready to hit my insert button. So now I can see that the maxi-max value on all four channels on this time plot. One other way that I can remove all annotations is to right click the plot, go to my annotate, and there is a remove all annotations. And now all my plots are free of all my annotations that I made for my cursors. Finally, if I want to scroll up and down different cursors without going to my cursor menu, I'll pull this over here so that it's more visible. And when I have my mouse on a certain plot and I hit my page up and page down button, you can see that we can quickly scroll through all the possible cursors. I can also zero in on my time base values and my end cursor values. So if it's hard for me to get on a one particular point on the plot, I can zero in on those particular points with these arrow buttons. Once again, the page up and page down quickly scrolls through my different types of cursors that are available. And to zero in on exactly where I want my cursor, I can move my arrows and we can see this cursor line moving. That's about it for cursors and annotations in Random View. Thanks for watching.